What's up guys? It has been a minute since we've made a vlog, and this one's going to be a little bit different, so stay tuned. Rallysport has come through and hooked us up with some new products for the car. A set of FR-Spec Faction Fab coilovers. So rather than boring you with a coilover install video, since installing coilovers is like the easiest mod ever, we're going to do a little bit of a driving review today. But before we get started, I just want to cover a little bit of the details about the suspension so that you know what we're getting into and what we're looking for while we're driving during this review. So Faction Fab has entered the market with two different coilovers. There's the F-Spec and the FR-Spec, which we have here and we'll be testing today. The main difference, as far as I can tell, are the shock internals. So on the FR-Spec that we are running, these are a few of the features that you get. You've got 32 ways of adjustability up here. Your dampening and your rebound is tuned together with the adjustment of this knob. You've got an adjustable camber plate up top. And the main differences between the F-Spec and FR are a stiffer spring rate, a more robust shim stack, and thicker viscosity shock fluid in there. With the combination of the shim stack fluid and stiffer springs, it's going to be a more aggressive coilover, so it will be stiffer, but that also comes with benefits. It'll provide a quicker turn-in and more responsive steering and less body roll. At only $845, getting a set of coilovers that appears to be pretty dang quality so far is amazing. There aren't very many mods that you can do that are as rewarding as coilovers, so if you're looking for your first set, you're going to be pretty happy with it because you have full height adjustability, you have tuning adjustability for your ride, and it really affects the way that the car handles and the way that it looks. When we get this thing on the ground, you'll see the ride height that I've got this set at, and I'll point that out later. But before we start, we're going to set all of the coilovers as soft as they will go. So if you look here, we're gonna turn this all the way till it's soft. It's already there. I'm gonna do this on all four corners. The next test we're gonna run is right in the middle at 16 clicks and then all the way on the stiffest setting. And we're going to see how bumpy the coilovers get, if they're jarring, if they're bottoming out, things like that. And we'll also do some testing through some corners to feel what the body roll is like in comparison through all three settings. I'm going to hurry and throw this wheel back on, and we're gonna pull out and we're gonna drive up some bumpy canyon roads. All right, we are now up in the canyon. It's beautiful, but we're racing against sunlight right now. So I hit every pothole on the way here, every bump, every pothole, and I am happy to report that these coilovers are super comfortable in street driving situations. So if you put them on the soft setting and run it day to day, it's a comfortable ride. It wasn't jarring at all, it wasn't bouncy either. So I'm excited to show you the performance of them now that we have a windy road ahead. Just gotta switch to this camera first. Alright, don't mind all of the loud drivetrain noises. I've got solid bushings through a lot of the drivetrain. It's super loud. Again, we're on the softest setting. Okay, first thing I notice is I can feel a little bit of body roll and less accurate turn in, but it's super comfortable. All these little lines I'm hitting I don't even feel, which is great because it doesn't throw you off, but they still are performing super well around these corners. in the quick turns. It's when I'm going back and forth really quick that they feel a little bit soft. All of these bumps are super comfortable. It's not bouncy. It's a really pleasant ride and it handles really well actually. It isn't the stiffest ride yet. You can probably see the body roll, but we're going to adjust them into the middle setting and see how it goes from there. All right, I am super impressed with the quality of the ride on the softest setting of the FR-Spec coilovers. Now it's time to dial these in a little bit, and we're all the way soft. So we're going to go 16 clicks in. And I'm going to do it on all the other ones. I mean, just look at the ride height here. Tell me coilovers are not the best modification. Not only does your car handle 1,000 times better, it looks better too. All right, let's go. All right, we are now in the middle of the 32 settings, and we are going to see how the bumps are and how the handling is through this windy part of the canyon up here. Okay, so they're definitely a little stiffer. You might have been able to see the camera shake right there. When you hit bumps, you can definitely feel it more when you adjust that valving to a stiffer setting. Okay, there's a substantial difference in the steering. There's a lot more confidence. You can put the car right where you want it in the corners, and there's way less body roll. As you can see here with even this quick little test, it responds so much quicker. And there's just way less delay in your steering. The bumps are definitely more noticeable and it's going to be less comfortable on a daily driving basis, but the performance is there. Here, and we're going to adjust it to the stiff setting. Yikes. Time for a skid plate, boys. All right, we're just gonna do this point of view, and we're gonna hurry and do the adjustment all the way stiff. Can't take calls right now. Work's gonna have to wait. And we're going all the way hard. 32, baby. We are in the stiffest setting on all 4 corners. Only takes a couple seconds to make that change, and we are ready to go. How drastic the change was between soft and medium, I wouldn't be surprised if this setting is too stiff for the streets. You don't ever want to be bouncing so much that through corners you're getting thrown off course. That's why track coilovers can be really stiff, is because they're a smooth course on a track. But on the road you want to be able to absorb the bumps and maintain traction and control. So let's see how this is. Okay, the turn-in is extremely responsive now. Oh yeah. The bumps are definitely more noticeable all around. It's kind of tossing me around. I wouldn't say they're too stiff for the street, depending on your driving circumstances and how bumpy the road is, but the handling is night and day difference from soft to stiff on these coilovers. The adjustability and the valving and everything seems to be pretty good for what you're getting. Keep in mind, these are an $850 coilover. I think it's a pretty good bang for your buck. This spot's usually a little slick. On the stiff setting, I have a ton of confidence in the cornering and the turn-in and how accurate everything feels. But the bounce is there's a little bit of bounce, which can throw you off course in the corners and be a little bit scary. Alright, I am going to pull off here. Alright, we are going to end this video here on the side of the road. It is getting dark and pretty soon the camera won't be able to see anything. To wrap this up, I am super impressed with the way that these coilovers have performed. On the softest setting, they're super comfortable. They handle manholes and potholes and bumps, and they're a little bit cush on the turns, but that's a great daily driver setup. And in the middle of the settings, there's a huge response change from even just soft to middle, and then obviously from soft to all the way stiff is an extreme change. So it's really cool to have a product where you can notice minor adjustments and you could fine-tune these. You could drive them every day, you could take them to the track, and I'm excited to see how these perform over a long-term test as I use them. Now, the handling side of things, they're super aggressive on turns when you're in the stiff setting. So if you're driving a long turn and trying to hold, they handle really well. If you got some sharp turns from one side to the next, you don't have a ton of body roll if you're on the stiff setting, and you're able to really put it into the corner where you want from one corner to the next on the stiff setting. So again, overall, I think they're a great product, especially for a price point coilover. At $845, there's not a lot of other coilovers out there to compete with it, let alone ones that I would say handle and ride really well. So thanks for watching this episode, guys, and thanks to Rallysport Direct and Faction Fab for letting us try out the FR-Spec coilovers. If you guys are interested in buying coilovers or checking out specific specs, hit the link below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please stay tuned and subscribe for more content. Thanks, guys.